The Global Detection Adventures podcast is made possible only by the support of Black ADA. Their advanced digging aids are created exclusively for metal detecting by metal detectors. This is Lance, and I own a Black ADA Extended Invader, and I cannot express enough how great their spades really are. They are extremely robust, made using heavy weld seams to reinforce the joints. They're extremely well designed for multiple types of digging, from the lawn to the beach, woods to farm fields. Each of the 8 different spades will be a welcome addition to every metal detector's arsenal. I personally used to go through about 2 to 3 spades a year that I would get at the local hardware store. But the quality was just not there because the shaft would break or bend or the shovel welds would fail. But believe me, I have not stopped loving this spade since the day my wife gave it to me as a gift almost a year ago. So go to www.blackada.com and check out their selection and see for yourself. That is blackada.com. All one word. Now let's get on with the show.
Coming to you from the Black ADA studio in Germany and the Global Detection Adventure studio in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it is Lance and Dave, and this is Global Detection Adventures, the podcast.
Well, hello everybody, my name is Lance. Unfortunately, Dave is not going to be available to join us today. He's currently on vacation in New York, so I'm wishing him a good time. He's going to be listening in later on as he downloads the podcast. I want to go ahead and invite anyone that is listening to go over to the Global Detection Adventures Facebook group and go ahead and feel free to come in and communicate with us, ask us any questions. This is our first podcast. It's live streaming as I'm talking to you right now. So there's going to be mess ups, there's going to be errors. So please bear with me. This is our first full run through, and so it's only going to get better from here. So let's just go ahead and move forward. Today I got a very special guest from Goolwa, Australia, inside the mining industry. Down there, his name is Cliff Wyllie. He's a metal detector and a gem hunter, and I believe he even goes out into the outback itself and looks for gold. So, welcome to you, Cliff.
Hey, Lance, how are you?
Doing good. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Thanks.
I hope the weather down there is treating you a lot better than it is up here in Germany. We've had a really wet winter up here, so it's been a pretty bad time.
Yeah, starting to cool down a little bit this week, but week before it was around 35 to 40 degrees.
Yeah, well, got John on here, John Holden Smith. He's just saying good day and welcome to Cliff. Well, thanks for coming in, John. Yeah, so Cliff, tell us a little bit about yourself. You are in the mining industry, so exactly what is it that you do down there?
Well, while I live at Goolwa, I do mainly fly in, fly out work. Currently I'm working at a place pretty close to Wagga Wagga. It's a little place called Adelong. It's a gold mine there. It's still under construction. That's, I guess, my job is to assist with the construction and give them some operational detail on how things are supposed to be set up and work. But I've been doing this sort of thing, I guess, for almost 35 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so started in tin mine in Tasmania. So, and worked in gold, copper, lead, zinc, several different minerals. So.
You ever go down there and just want to kind of pocket a little bit of that dust as it comes out?
Not really. The thing is, if you're going to, as far as gold goes, if you're going to try and steal that, you've got to make it worthwhile. Go for about $10 or $20 million worth, because you're going to be on the run for the rest of your life.
Makes sense to me. So there you go for anybody who wants to get into the mining industry. If you decide to steal some gold from the mines, make sure it's at least $20 million worth.
the thing is, people's jobs are far more valuable. You can earn more money than what you can steal in gold value.
Yeah. Yeah, and so as far as detecting itself, I've noticed that you've gone out and you use your detector to actually go scan for gold nuggets out in the desert down there?
Oh, yeah. Tupperwara is probably, that's an interesting area, and there's quite an array of gold there in different areas. If people want to have a look on, say, Google Map, you'll see some areas that look like it's got snow on it. That's actually quartz.
Yeah.
That's the sort of areas where you go and find gold.
Yeah.
A lot of the larger stuff's gone, but I know one particular chap who spent 10 days there, and he ended up with around an ounce and a half. So that's not too bad.
So how much would that approximately come to as far as worth?
US, that's about probably $1,800.
Oh man! Wow, congratulations on that one. That would just drive me insane. I would be flipping out. Yeah, for a lot of people, gold has a tendency to be usually in a large quartz area. When you watch TV shows and stuff like that, and they're talking about veins of gold, usually what they're doing is they're following a large vein of quartz that goes through a mountain. And usually, sometimes, most of the time, if I'm not mistaken, the gold itself is usually within the quartz. Something in the process caused the two to kind of link together somehow. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. It's mainly through volcanic activity.
Yeah.
Any gaps within the quartz, the gold will normally be injected into it. And you find a lot of ironstone in the area as well. So ironstone is something that you also look for.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in Australia that are members of the Global Detection Adventures group on Facebook, and yeah, we don't want to give up too much detail as to where you're out there gold hunting, so we can make sure that you keep all your little treasures. You also do gem hunting. Is that usually in the same area as well?
No, they're different areas. There's an area not too far from where I'm working at the moment, so when I get a day off here, I'll slip up to a place called Wee Jasper, which it's about probably 70 kilometres from here, so it's not too far, but it's a very slow drive. It takes about an hour and a half to get there due to the dirt road and windy conditions getting up there.
Yeah. Well, I want to apologize right offhand for some background noise. I got a sick cat in my studio who's suffering from a cold right now, and yeah, we got to get him over to the vet on Monday. So you might be hearing a cat sneezing every once in a while in the background. Unfortunately, my microphone is way too good, and it's picking up everything. So yeah, you're going to be going out. It's you said about 75 miles from your location?
Yeah, about 75 kilometres, I suppose. That's about 45, 50 miles. Yeah. It's quite steep going up there, and although cars can get up onto the road okay, where I go, it's sort of off the beaten track a little bit. So you need a four-wheel drive.
Yeah, I don't even know how the term is actually fossicking. It was something that you coined for the first time that I had heard it. Fossicking, I guess, is a British and Australian term for gem hunting, which isn't commonly used in the United States. So, but yeah, is this the same area where you found the sapphires that you had cut and set into rings?
No, it wasn't. I found them up at a town called Rubyvale. That's up in Queensland. It's about 30 kilometres east of Rubyvale. I actually went on a tag-along tour because I hadn't done it before, and learned how to find sapphires.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sapphires that I found there, I actually sent them to a place in Thailand and had them cut there.
Yeah.
So a lot cheaper to get it done there, and they were sent back about probably three months later, and they've done a wonderful job of them.
Yeah, I just shared a link on the group. People can check it out. It's the video about the rings that you had done. So they can go ahead and check that out and see them. But they're beautiful rings. Really well done.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I was putting that together, I used a fluoro light for lighting, and the picture quality is not that great.
Oh. Well, it looks good to me.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so I just bought the blank jewellery off a place called Aussie Sapphires, and you can buy it for different size stones, so you've got to measure your stones up, and I just set them into the jewellery, yeah.
Yeah, so you basically had the stones cut, you said, in Thailand?
Yes.
And then you bought the rings themselves and then brought both into a jewelry store near you and had them set that way?
No, I set them myself.
Oh, you did set them yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
Respect on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the photos, they're actually really beautifully done.
Yeah. You would have had a bit of a laugh if you had been watching it, because every time I tried to put them in there, my sausage fingers, the stones would fly out at a rate of knots and then hit the tiled floor, and I'd be searching around on the floor trying to find it. So what would take a jeweler? So what would take a jeweler probably 5 minutes took me about probably an hour and a half.
Yeah, but it's the end result is a lot more. You have a lot more pride in the end result because you actually created this yourself. I mean, besides cutting the jewelries, besides cutting the gem, you actually created them, and so the pride, it just goes a lot higher.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've done 2. I've got another 6 at home that are cut. The next one I do, I've got 3 granddaughters, and I'll receive the first 3.
Okay. John Holden Smith, or Hilton Smith, excuse me, I didn't mean to butcher your name there. He has a question. What's the best advice that you can give them for a mid-level gold prospectors?
I'm not too sure about what he means by mid-level. Is that a mid-level detector? I use an SDC 2300, which is a mine lab detector. It's a pulse induction. It's a little bit different to the VFL units that you use for coins. The timing on that is set for fine gold. You've got to realise a lot of the larger nuggets have been found because there's been a lot of detecting being done.
Yeah.
So what's left is fine nuggets. The smallest nugget that I found is 0.04 grams.
Oh, wow.
So it's very sensitive. And that particular nugget, you could barely call it a nugget, but that was only about an inch below the surface. But I found it.
And how big is the coil that's on the pulse induction that you use?
8 inch.
And it's an 8-inch coil. Now, as far as coils itself, does the size of the coil make any kind of a difference? Because I've seen some prospectors using a smaller coil to try and cover. I guess the smaller coil might create a more fine signal. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I've never done any prospecting myself.
Okay. The smaller coils are really good for getting in between the rocks, and they also find smaller gold. The larger the coil, the deeper it'll go, but it'll miss the small gold.
That's true.
It'll pick up the big nuggets though, and at greater depth.
Okay. I hope that might settle some of John's questions. If you have any more, feel free to ask away.
There's, I know what the prices are in Australian dollars.
Yeah.
You can pick one of those up brand new for around $3,800 to $4,000.
And that's for the detector itself?
That's for the detector itself. Another reasonably good one is the GPX. It's a 4500. And you can buy different coils for that. Unfortunately, the detector I have, the SDC 2300, it has a fixed coil. You can't change it out, but it is waterproof. You can actually take it in to rivers and fully submerge it. So if you want to, you could actually go diving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of stream hunting as well.
Yeah. It's only waterproof to about 3 metres. But you're probably not going to find a lot of gold any deeper than that anyway. Start to get into quite deep territory then.
You said that the good detectors, you are using the SSA 2300, you said?
SDC.
The SDC 2300 and the GPX 4500 is also a good one.
Yeah. There's the 4500, which is around the same price.
Yeah.
5000. The GPX 5000 is probably better, but you pay a few more dollars for it.
Yeah.
They've also got a GPZ 7000, and maybe I should say that US GPZ 7000. And that's when they first were released, they were $10,700.
$10,700.
Yeah.
That means that if I ever did that, I'd have to run out and be prospecting all the time. I don't think my wife would let me live it down that I just spent that much money on a metal detector.
That's a lot of money, and you've got to be taking it serious. But they've sold quite a few, and people are finding gold with them.
John says that he uses the SDC 2300. He's found plenty of gold with it, but sometimes he worries about the depth it gets. What was the deepest nugget that you found using the SDC?
About 6 to 8 inches. The SDC doesn't go deep.
Okay, yeah. Well, there you go, John. We got about 10 minutes left on live time. Unfortunately, I guess they cut it down from 45 minutes to about 30. But like I said, this is our first test run. I'm hoping that all the audio and everything is running good for everybody. So please let me know. As far as metal detecting itself, do you also use your pulse induction metal detectors for relic hunting and everything else?
Yeah, the difference is with pulse induction is you can't exclude iron or anything else. So it detects every piece of metal. And so if you use it, and I have used it on the beach,
yeah,
you've got to be prepared to dig everything.
Was that the one that you used when you found that really nice ring on the beach?
No, I've got an Xterra 705, which is another mine lab detector.
Yeah.
I was using that on the beach.
What's the best find that you've ever found relic hunting?
Relic hunting. Probably, this was actually, I was using the Xterra. It was before I had the SDC. I was out in the gold fields looking for gold and found an 1845 Trippets. And that was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So obviously there was some poor old digger out there that went hungry for a day.
Yeah. Just a second. Well, it sounds like John says everything seems to be going through really good, which is really good. Like I was telling everybody, there's going to be issues for the first couple shows. I'm just making sure that everything's running, that all the sound is good, that my voice isn't too high, that I got Cliff coming through nice. So we got a lot of, like I said, I think John is from Australia. Also listening in from Australia is Jacob from down there. He's chatting with us on Facebook as this is happening. I know Jacob does a lot of beach hunting. Do you prefer beach hunting, or do you go to older areas, where there might be some historic significance?
Where I live, it's pretty difficult. I have found some things like pennies and like pre-decimal currency.
Yeah.
But there's nothing really close to where I live. Where I'm currently working, there's probably a few good spots here because it's an older area. But Australia, we've got to remember, was only really settled by the Europeans after 1776.
Basically the largest group of them started coming in the 1800s, early 1800s.
Yeah. So we haven't got the history that we have in Europe. I'm a bit jealous, obviously. So.
Well, I haven't found much of the history over here yet. I mean, I've been able to go back to 1800. I might have broken into the 1500s with the tip to a crossbolt arrow, but I haven't. That's one of those things that I can't really date. But otherwise, my dateable relics haven't been able to go past 1800, which was the silver coin that I found in the one video.
There's one thing that people need to do, I guess, is do a lot of research before you go and detect an area. That could save you a lot of time, a lot of grief as well, or embarrassment in one place that I went to.
Yeah.
I won't mention the beach, but I went down on the beach to do some detecting down there, and worked out very quickly that it was a nudie beach.
Oh.
So, so I turned around fairly quickly and got out of there.
That would have been, I guess they might have been swinging the wrong kind of detectors down there.
Yeah, so even check the beaches before you wander on down.
Yeah, I've noticed that doing research, especially around here. I'm currently working on finding the areas where the U.S. military stayed overnight the night prior to actually invading the town where I live. And I've found the areas now. For me, it's just a matter of getting permission, because every single one of the areas is now a farm field and it's all privately owned. So now I got to find the owners of it, and it's proving to be more hectic than anything else. I just had a question come in from Jacob. He wants to know what you think about the Xterra's prospecting feature.
The prospecting feature on the 705, it's very difficult in a lot of our goldfields because there's mineralised ground there, and by that I mean when you go into prospecting mode on the detector, it'll pick up any iron or things like that. So it's the mineralisation. It just has to be like chalcopyrite or something like that, and it will start to pick it up.
Oh, good. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I mean, if there's any kind of, even if it's iron ore or anything in the ground, it'll be picking that up as well?
Yeah, it does. Whereas the pulse induction, different type of unit, will not pick that up.
Can you set the pulse induction to detect certain types of metals, or is it only set for basically a single kind?
It'll pick up, like the worst day I had was, I did find a piece of gold, but I also found 42 pieces of lead shot. So.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I guess they are not far from each other on the periodic table, so I guess that kind of makes sense.
True, yeah, but I found boot tacks, all types of metals. I found a hair slide. I used SDC on the beach one time and found a hair slide about 8 inches down.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, yeah. It's all fun.
Yeah. So, we're running down to about 3 minutes left in the show, everybody. Now, Cliff, you also have a channel on YouTube. Would you go ahead and share what's your YouTube username so people can look you up?
Coyote Rider.
Coyote Rider on YouTube.
Yep. Yep. The reason that is because of my last name, Wyllie Coyote. I've had that nickname since I was about 5. And Rider because I love riding motorbikes. I did have a couple of motorbikes. I sold one of them now, but still got another.
Yeah. You can actually see you riding off pretty much in the beginning of every single one of your videos that are on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I guess it must be a great bunch of fun driving around in the outback and everything else in Australia. That just to me sounds like it would be a blast.
Yeah. It is. It's great fun. See a lot of the countryside too doing that.
Yeah, I could just imagine. I know that I believe it's you. You like driving around, and I've seen some of the photos of just some crazy things that you've noticed driving around on your motorcycle. Trees with bras on it was one of them. A termite mound made out to look like a snowman.
No, it's Santa Claus.
Oh, that's it. That's what it was. It was Santa Claus. And I believe there was some other ones like a trash tree and just some crazy stuff that you've been sharing.
A computer tree, a boot tree, a hat tree. Yeah, they've got them all out there.
That's one of the things that I love about Global Detection Adventures. We're mostly about metal detecting, but the detection can be anything. You detect anything in your country or where you're from, then please feel free to share it with us. Everybody enjoys really seeing that stuff. So, let me, we'll go ahead and start winding this down. We got about a minute left on the show. I'd like to go ahead and thank everybody for listening in. John and Jacob, who were interacting with us, and anyone else who was listening in. I'll be posting the links where you can download this onto the Global Detection Adventures Facebook group. And once it becomes available on iTunes, which it will be at some point, I'll go ahead and also post the link to that, so anybody using the iPhone or an iPod, iPad, an Apple computer, whatever it is, they can go ahead and download our podcast for free. Once that podcast is up and running, I'll also share the link on iTunes for it, and you can go ahead and just simply subscribe to us there, so whenever a new one comes out, you can automatically get it downloaded. Basically, I'd like to thank Cliff for coming in and joining me this, guess you could call it the groundbreaking episode.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me along.
And I know John is thanking you as well for the advice as far as detecting and prospecting.
So you can feel free to contact me on Facebook as well if they want any questions answered, if I can answer them.
Yep, feel free to contact them there. So that'll do it for us from the Black ADA studios in Germany. This is Lance. Thank you.